Hey, how's it going? It's Ziva and welcome back for another plan with me. Today I'm back to set up my March reading bullet journal, and for this month I decided to go with a theme of like angels and demons, and this was actually inspired by some of the books that I am planning to read in March. So yeah, I'm gonna be reading some books featuring either angels or demons or both. Like a lot of them actually feature both, and I'm really excited about all of them. So I thought it would be fitting to actually do my reading journal in the same theme, and I came up with some ideas for this first page. I'm actually doing the first page art on camera. I didn't do it off camera as I did for the past couple of months. I just was like, what the hell, I'm gonna brave it and actually doing on camera. If it doesn't turn out well, I'm just gonna redo it. Like, it's not a big deal. So yeah, this is what the process looks like. I'm actually like not confident in my art, that's why I've been doing it off camera. But yeah, this time it's just like, yeah, whatever. So yeah, basically the idea for the first page art is to actually do like a heaven versus hell kind of painting, like the upper world versus underworld, like our world versus underworld, whatever you want to call it. It's like a little painting of that, and that is actually inspired by the Chain of Gold story, where I'm pretty sure I remember one of the main characters actually traveling to the underworld. So I kind of felt inspired by that scene to do like this, our world versus the underworld scene. So yeah, that's from a book. And while leaving the first half of the painting to dry, I actually went and started working on my reading tracker page. Here I'm once again going with an element inspired by the Shadowhunter books. So here I'm drawing out a sword called Cortana. Now, if you are like familiar with the Shadowhunter world, and especially the Carstairs family, there is this legendary sword that's kind of been in their family for generations, and it's called Cortana, and all like the Carstairs characters are usually carrying it, and it's really cool. So I kind of felt inspired to do it on my reading tracker page, which I'm doing again on the black piece of paper, and I thought it would look really cool with like a sword on it. So yeah, that's why I picked Cortana specifically. And surrounding Cortana, I also did some thorny vines, which doesn't really have anything to do with the story or anything. It's more like a spring element. I'm actually gonna be doing a couple of things to kind of incorporate spring into this March spread, I guess. I just really wanted to kind of commemorate that spring is starting. This winter has been feeling pretty long, like an eternity, so I'm really happy that spring is finally here, and I wanted something in this spread, in this reading journal spread specifically, to remind me of spring. So that's why there's gonna be some flowers as well in the rest of the spreads as well. So yeah, then I'm also just writing out the reading tracker on this black piece of paper. I'm using the same gel pen that I've been using so far. I'm really happy with it. I love the way it shows up on the black page. It doesn't fade even after like any time. It's a white gel pen. I'm gonna leave the specific name of it down below. I'm really happy with its performance. It does kind of dry up a little bit. The tip starts drying up like after a while of use. So I don't know whether that's all the like gel pens or not, if this is like a problem with this pen specifically, but if you wipe it off, it like writes out after that perfectly, so it's not like a problem, but you do have to wipe it off a couple of times. So yeah, if anybody is curious, or like if you have any tips for using gel pens, definitely let me know. That's been my experience with this one specifically. And I always struggle picking whether to actually do these boxes for the actual tracking using a ruler or just to freehand them, because you definitely can have it like best of both worlds, because if you use a ruler, there's probably gonna be some like black gel residue all over the page, but if you're freehanded, at least in my experience, the boxes are gonna be crooked. So yeah, definitely kind of having both. So yeah, it's always about deciding, which is better, to have like the crooked boxes or the gel smudged all over the page. So yeah, you can never have it perfect, I think. Okay, and once I was done with that, I went back to the initial painting for the first page to do the like other half of it. And here I'm going in with some blue colors and bluer and blackish shades to kind of represent our world, I guess. So the lower world, like the reddish world, is of course the underworld of like the demons and stuff. And the upper world is where the humans live, and angels sometimes as well. I don't know, it's like this duality of the world, I guess, is what I was trying to portray. And here I'm gonna go in and draw some tulips because, like I said, I wanted some spring elements in my spreads, and I thought tulips would look really pretty with like the colorful backdrops here, which is supposed to be the sky, by the way, if it wasn't obvious. I will go in later on to draw some clouds in the background, so it's a bit more obvious that it's supposed to be like the sky. I did mess up a little bit because the blue painting here wasn't completely dry yet, so I don't know if it's obvious on camera, but the white definitely showed up much better on the red part of the painting because the obviously painting was a bit more dry than the upper half. So yeah, just a little advice for any like painting newbies: if you're like new to this and still figuring things out, let the paint dry properly. It's like the basic thing. And then going into the actual journal to start working on all the spreads, I decided to use some book pages this time. I've been doing this like top of the page kind of, I don't know what they're called, like, you know, the corner things where you glue in some paper. I think this is like a pretty popular journaling thing. And I've been doing it for the past couple of months as well. So this time, instead of going in with like any already existing scrapbook paper, I decided to go with some book pages and add some black paper and then do my own doodles on the black paper. So yeah, that way I thought I could make it fit the story a bit better and not always go with like the star design, which of course is super pretty, but this time I really don't think it would have made sense with the rest of the spread. So this time I'm going in with the black paper to add some of my own doodles. I decided to go for some runes. So yeah, runes, shadowhunters, you know, it's like, it's an angel thing. And yeah, if anybody is new to my like reading journal videos, the second page is where I usually write out my reading plans, so some of the books on my TBR. Okay, then for the Shadowhunter runes, I definitely still need a cheat sheet. At first, I did consider going in and actually drawing different kind of runes on every piece of black paper, but I kind of decided that was above my skill level, so I went in and only did the one rune. So I like doodled a bunch of like angel runes all over the black piece of paper, which kind of gives me black flash to like the Shadowhunter movie. Like, does anybody remember that one scene when Clary wakes up in the morning and has her room completely covered in angel runes? It only just occurred to me, but this is kind of like that scene, so yeah, that's fun. But anyway, so moving on to the TBR page, I'm gonna be doing a couple of boxes once again, and I'm gonna explain everything in my TBR video why there are two boxes. yeah, at first, as you can see once again, I did actually try to do the barriers of like the boxes in different types of runes, but I quickly realized I just am not skilled at drawing runes. I would have sucked as a shadowhunter, by the way, because I could not draw runes on myself or on anybody else. So I just stuck with the axes instead, and I'm probably gonna cover up those runes that I did draw at first with axes later on. So yeah, quickly gave up on that, but I think the axes work out as well. So, and then when the painting was finally fully dry, I went ahead and actually glued it on the first page so I could add the titles and any other lettering after that. And you know, it's kind of hard to do without having an idea of where the painting is gonna be on the page, so I was afraid to do any lettering beforehand just in case it didn't end up looking good. So yeah, I had to wait for the painting to dry, but once it was finally done, I decided to go in with the stamps. Once again, I'm gonna be using the letter stamps as I've done for the past couple of months, because I really love the look of it, but it's also so like effortless because it's basically the stamps doing all the work. I just gotta go over with a pen and outline them so they show up better, and it just makes life so much easier. I do love lettering stamps. And by the way, I was gonna ask you, I'm pretty sure the majority of you guys who watch these videos are actually like journalers yourselves, or you're either like fans of journaling videos. So I want to ask you guys if you have any good recommendations for lettering stamps. I'm looking for a new set, so if you have any recommendations for me, definitely let me know. Then moving on to the third page, this is the reading tracker page as usual, so I'm just gonna glue in the design that I already did in the beginning of the video. So yeah, I'm all done with the reading tracker page. As I mentioned before, I do love the way this one turned out. Once again, I'm just loving the like white gel pen on the black paper. There is just something really cool about it. I always love seeing this, even in other people's journals. Then for the last page, it is the monthly review page, so I'm gonna be doing a space for favorite book of the month, favorite quote of the month, and some monthly stats. And this time the designs, or like the doodles that I'm including for the favorite book and favorite quote, are a couple of wings. One are like angel wings, the other are like demonic wings. And yeah, underneath all of that, I'm gonna be doing and writing out some of my monthly stats, which is something I've started this year, and I do love actually including that in my reading journal, even though I haven't been reading that much, so like the stats have been kind of sad. But yeah, I still think it's pretty cool to kind of keep a track of that. Then moving back a step to the TBR page, I decided to finish off the underneath space, which was left empty before. I had an idea to add this design that's actually from the Daughter of Smoke and Bone book. So every kind of part, the books are separated into different parts, and every part starts out with this feather design with a quote. And the very first quote of the very first book is like, "Once upon a time, an angel and a devil fell in love. It did not end well." And that was just such like a memorable opener. I thought it would be really cool to include it on this TBR page as well, and actually have it there to be a visual representation of what I'm gonna be reading as well. Daughter of Smoke and Bone is actually one of the books that I plan on reading in March. There is a read-along going on, so definitely let me know if you're joining as well. It's hosted by Sasha from The Wild Sasha and some other booktubers, which I actually don't remember at the moment who they are, but I'm gonna leave the link to the announcements down in the description below if anybody is curious about it. And yeah, after that there's just the last steps to finish off all the spreads, to fill in some of those empty spaces and write in favorite book and favorite quote. Okay everybody, so I'm all done with my March spread, and this is just a final flip through of how everything ended up looking like. So we have the title page, the first page, with a little painting of the underworld, upper world, whatever you want to call it, and then of course the TBR page where I still have to write in what books I'm gonna be reading in March. Oh my god, it's March. Yeah, this is a March spread, not February. Then of course the reading tracker page, which I actually quite adore the way it ended up looking this month, so I can't wait to fill this one up. So yeah, and then lastly of course we have the monthly review page for the favorite book and favorite quote of the month, as well as some monthly stats. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching coming this spread come to life and that you like how everything ended up looking like. So yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. Thank you so much for joining me and watching. I hope you're having a great day or night. I'm gonna chat with you down in the comments, and until next time. Bye everybody!